Aloha, everybody. Aloha, Friday. Charlie, he does the grand entrance over here. I love it. You know, it's like he's supposed to wait for me to say, and now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Waikiki, the one, the only
Aloha, Tony
Charlie
here, Danny Kalekini with Polly Ridge Bread.
Holly Ridge. Holly Ridge.
Polly Ridge Bread.
Charlie, I never hear Polly. There was the commercial.
Aloha.
That was the commercial, bro. Oh my God.
E komu mai.
Holly Ridge. That's a long time ago, man.
Many moons ago.
What about the kind? The exchange goes round, round, round. Remember that one?
Yep.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
It was real heartbreaking because that was one of the only orange juice concentrates that I would drink. And it was almost, in fact, that was like the original Orange Julius, that flavor. You know, when Orange Julius first came into town. But for some reason, it just disappeared. And then, of course, they had Ultra Bright toothpaste, all the different commercials with Ultra Bright.
Oh, this is truly a blast from the past, man.
Yeah.
This is truly a blast from the past.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir.
Just see what kind. I check in my kind of here because the battery, the battery, the battery.
Yeah, the battery.
A battery. The battery kind of low on my kind. Can you post how we can get help with unemployment? I wish I could help you there, Rob. I don't know. You got to text Senator Kochi. He was on the show last night, and he said anybody that is having issues with unemployment, send him an email directly to him. It's SenKochi, SenKouchi at capital.hawaii.gov. And
okay, not capital H, capital. You got to spell the word out. Capital TOL.hawaii.gov.
Right.
Because some people, when you tell them capital Hawaii, the last time they go put capital HAW.
Oh, no wonder okay. Because I had a couple messages today about that. Okay, good catch. So SenKochi, SEN, no dots, no nothing. It's SenKouchi at Hawaii. I'm sorry, at capital CAPITOL Hawaii HAWAII.gov. GOV. Send it to him. Tell him you saw him in the Mel and Charlie show, and he will send he has a staffer that is assigned specifically to unemployment, and they will help you out. Okay, that's the best we can do here. We try to get unemployment on, understanding that they are very busy, and they're overwhelmed. It is what it is. So please reach out to Senate President Ron Kochi, and he will help you. He will help you. And he has helped a lot of our viewers that have asked for help, and we've sent them that checkers in Pogo. And so yeah, SenKochi at capital.hawaii.gov. Awesome. I hope you guys having a great day. Hope you guys had it's kind of cool day. Not hot, rain off and on. The threat of thunder and lightning, and I know the North Shore got hit pretty hard. One of my coworkers live out there, and he said they got pounded last night with rain out in Kilauea. So anyway, we hope everybody's going well. Tonight we have Council Member Ricky Hokama he's actually on the Maui County Council, but he's from Lanai. He's going to be, he represents Lanai. He's going to be on tonight to share some insights, updates with what's going on our sister island over there. He'll give us the county's perspective this guy's been a long time. We'll do the introduction when he gets on at 7. But I've known Ricky for a long time, and good guy, amazing guy. And I'll share a little bit about his accomplishments once he gets on, just so I make sure I get them right. What about the adult female tested negative, then positive? What about all the people in the plane? You guys heard? Yeah, we had a positive person today, visitor, tested negative on the second time, tested positive on the third time. Apparently got symptoms. That's the problem with this virus. right? We don't know. We talked about, this show has covered so many aspects. We talked about the latency and the incubation. We talked about the possibilities of getting them at the airport through TSA, in the airplane, in the rental car, at the listen, it's going to be very difficult to track that virus back to where it originated. It could be a false negative, could be a false, could be so many variables. The bottom line is this: and if this isn't enough evidence to show the importance of having a second test, had this person been in quarantine for 7 days or 6 days and had a test, and she would have been found out. So, and we're not going to get them all. This is a perfect example of how we cannot be 100% perfect. But how many others are floating around the state of Hawaii right now that had a negative pre-travel test? How many of them came through negative but are actually positive today on the ground in any one of our islands? We don't know, but we know it exists, right? We know it exists. So that's the best I can tell you. She's in isolation now. So we pretty much isolated the virus at this point. How many exposures, how many contacts did she come in contact with prior to finding out she was positive? That we don't know. And that's going to be very difficult to track. Again, as Charlie has said numerous times, when you visit somewhere, if you go to a foreign land, to another state, and you're running around for 6, 7, 8 days, it is going to be hard to tell someone where you've been, who you came in contact with. And that's kind of the situation. So. The other thing too, real quick, Charlie, I just wanted to, real quick before I forget, and I want to thank again Sarah Blaine. I talked about the numbers of how many of our eligible arrivals, returning residents as well as visitors, that are eligible for the second test on Kauai. Remember, to be eligible, you have to be participating in that pre-test program with the trusted partners. So to get the exact number is very difficult, but right now the conservative estimate is about 18% of eligible travelers are taking the post-test. 18%. So 18 out of every 100 people are saying, okay, I'll take a second test. That again would be better with our Kauai mayor's original plan to mandatory test everybody twice, a second time after a short quarantine. That was rejected. So he's doing the next best thing. But again, 18% is the number that they gave me. So we'll catch some of them, but not all of
them. Well, those are one of the things, what we said before, and I guess we've got a really good guest on tonight because there's a lot of things we want to cover. But, I just heard the news and, it's quite evident that, we need a post test and it would be good if we have it at least 7 days after. But, they said that a compromise was done. And I think that's what kind of caught me off guard. Because a compromise meaning we are compromising for the sake of the traveler coming into Hawaii. Okay. So the compromise is this. You deposit the virus here and then you leave. I'm not saying if it's 100% foolproof or not, but you deposit the virus here and then you leave. Then what's going to happen is local communities will have a spread start again. And guess who upper administration for the state is going to blame? They're going to blame us one more time. Yeah, they're going to blame us by saying, it's a community spread. And I keep on telling over and over again, how did the goddamn thing get in the first place? That's what I'm saying. So come on, give us a break. It's just like, and we said from day one, you want to bring your pet into the state of Hawaii, you put your pet in quarantine. It's that for a reason. People that buy expensive horses, they want to bring them in to Hawaii. I know they got to do blood tests wherever the horses are coming from. You got to pay all these special fees to get them on the aircraft. Special boxes made, they come. They may require them to be quarantined here in the state of Hawaii. But if you want something that bad, you got to do the quarantine. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm going on a wrong tangent here. But it's just that I'm just tired of getting scolding all the time. Being told that as a resident, it's a community spread. It's your problem. So I'm trying to give you a solution to the problem. and that is stay away for a little while until you get on test. But you say no. So if it comes and affects me, I damn if I do, I damn if I don't. You're gonna blame me anyway. So I might as well go out swinging, and hopefully that didn't work. And so far, it's not.
Well, I mean, what we predicted is happening. I mean, we know the case is starting. This one we're just talking about now is a visitor. It's coming. It's gonna be here. It's gonna be on every island. We're still early on.
Yep.
We still only what? Not even 2 weeks? Are we 2 weeks in? Tomorrow makes 2 weeks.
Yeah. Tomorrow,
Uh,
14 to 29. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Tomorrow makes 2 weeks. If you listen to the experts, they tell you 3 weeks. You start seeing the spikes at 3 weeks. I originally predicted 2 cycles of the virus, which was 28 days. So we talking, a couple more weeks between with next week and the week after. We should know.
Mhm.
But you're right, man, Charlie. You're right. They're already blaming this on the residents that we gotta restrict our travel. We gotta restrict our movement, um, so that our visitors can roam. And I think that's the burn that everybody's feeling is, come on, man, you guys, we're your constituents, and we understand. We know that whole thing about the economy. And I just think that while implementing a 4 or 5 day quarantine and a second test, if we require that, yes, it would affect the number of visitors that come, but it would be a much safer uh, policy than what we have today. And we will see. We will see as time goes on. I mean, um, where does this virus? Where does it originate? We keep talking about the clusters. Yeah, we're going to get clusters if we do not uh, practice the safe measures. Of course, we're going to get clusters through community spread. But like Charlie said, we're, can we not introduce the virus? Can we at least limit that so the chances of a community spread is limited? That's what we're seeing. And not to cut it out. I mean, we know we're not going to get 100% isolation from the virus. We know that. I mean, gosh, many have tried. No one has done that unless you actually lock it down, right?
Mhm.
And that's the only way.
Well, I
Uh,
also like to give a shout out to Raylene Malama. She complimented my shirt. My beautiful wife, again, her favorite shirts for big Hawaiian blalas like me is Manu Heali'i. And this is the Eureka design. You know the Eureka palms? So a couple shirts came in today. I want to say thank you to Manu Heali'i. But gang, it's not free. It was purchased by Mrs. Iona. So I'm just giving a free plug out to Manu Heali'i for this beautiful design. She was waiting for it for quite a while. And it finally came out and came in the mail today. So thank you very much to Stephanie. And also, I would like to cover that if there are any businesses out there that is having a hard time finding employees, please direct message myself or Mel, because what we want to do is we want to do something for our our viewers, the public. We want to do free public service announcements to get the word out. There's some businesses, this is part of the economic recovery. We want to help you. We want to plug your business, even if we haven't visited. But please direct message us, put the name of the business, the location, what positions are open. And if you want to put down the pay that you're looking to pay the prospective employee, and we'll put a plug out there because I think we all need to work together to get the info out because I'm pretty sure that there's people out there looking for work and they just don't know that you might have positions open that might fit there. And also put down the times because not everybody will be available at a certain time. You might need somebody that work at night, and there are people that may be looking for a second job, and that can be supplemented that way. So we want to let you know that we're going to do some public service announcement for all of our family and friends, and doesn't only have to be on Kauai. It can be on any of the islands, any of the viewers that watch us. We want to help you, Mel and Charlie.
Also, one more thing. I mean, if you have a business that you're offering some sort of special, whether it's a Kamina special, whether it's free delivery of meals, if you're offering anything free or discounts, let us know as well. We'd love to, consider it a commercial that you don't have to pay for, and we'll definitely share that with our viewers. But you got to be offering something though, okay? Okay, you gotta help out a little bit, and maybe a little discount, whatever. Maybe something free if you purchase a meal. Maybe give them a free drink, whatever it is. But no, go raise your prices, and then ask Mel and Charlie to promote your business. Make sure that there's some benefit for our residents that can go out and pay, patronize your business and have a benefit as well. I'm not sure what the heck, Ricky. Where is Ricky?
Maybe he's busy, but I'm pretty sure.
Could be. I know that today there was a House committee meeting, transportation committee, chaired by Senator. I'm sorry, Senate committee, Senator Lorraine Inouye, and they had the CEO, I guess, or the boss of Mokulele, and I was hoping to bring this up with here. Oh gosh. Reschedule, Mel. Didn't get the Zoom passcode today with my grandnephew now. Okay, well.
Those kind of things happen.
I know I sent it. Oh, well.
This is...
So let me just put down, okay, no problem. Although, anyway. Sorry, guys. We will, what is today? Tomorrow we have Senator English and Rep Decoy. What is today? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday we have our Halloween contest. Okay, we'll reschedule for next week. Let's see. We'll call you tomorrow.
Those are just one of the things, gang.
Yeah. Oh well.
We apologize.
Lesson learned. Confirm with your guest maybe a couple hours before the show. Anyway, sorry guys, sorry. So we were talking about the committee meeting today. I don't know how many of you actually watched that. I'm going to try to find the link and post it up on the page. Please watch that and see. But before we get into that discussion, I was trying to hold on to the numbers before until Ricky got in. But Lanai today, 94 cases was the total cases today. They're going to hit triple digits real soon, and it's kind of scary when you look at the numbers. Just in comparison to Kauai, this is as of since February 28th. We've had a total number of 63 cases, and look at Lanai, who had gone almost 7 months without a case, and in a matter of a week, 94 cases. 94 cases compared to 7 months on Kauai with a total number of 63 cases. So that just tells you how easily spread this virus is. It's kind of scary. Honolulu, almost 13,000 cases since then. So, I bring that up only because I think we got to keep reminding people that this virus, as things settle down and things open up and we start thinking that we're almost back to normal, we got to understand that this virus is not done yet. And it doesn't take much, whether you're here in Lanai or you're in the mainland, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care where you're at. So the important, I guess, the moral of the story is to make sure you protect yourselves. I know you get sick and tired of hearing us say that, but that's all we can do right now. That's all we can do. So anyway, Ricky just texted back. He took his COVID test today. That's probably why. I think he'd go so far in, probably it blurred his vision and he couldn't see the email. But anyway, so the committee, Senate committee, Transportation Committee, had the Mokulele boss on there today, and it was quite striking. Basically, what he's asking for, he wants to lift the quarantine requirement. He's saying that it's too confusing, that every island has a different protocol, and that flying on an airplane is much, much, much safer than riding in a car. And we don't require people to take a test 3 hours before they jump in a car with a friend. That we all gonna catch COVID from somewhere, and the planes are very safe. So he wants to lift that quarantine and allow people the freedom to travel throughout the islands.
You know what he doesn't understand, and it baffles me with somebody with a high education like that. He flies from island to island. We don't drive from island to island. And he comes out with the rationale. Okay, Oahu is higher than Kauai. Oahu is pretty darn close to Maui. Big Island overtook Oahu at one time. But we don't drive to the islands. So I don't know what he's talking about. Not to say anything demeaning towards him, but I really wish the facts show that, it's much safer. No, it's much safer in a car if you're riding with your family bubble. I go in your plane. I don't know who's sitting next to me. What is he talking about?
Yeah, he said this. He said you're more likely to catch COVID in a car with your friend than you are to be sitting next to a stranger in a plane. What book did you read, sir? What book did you read? So bottom line was this. So he's asking for that, and he's asking for the state airports division to waive the landing fees and the use fees. They pay a lot of money every time a plane lands.
It'd be interesting though. Maybe he has access to one of those doctors who thinks the other way that we've been trying to get on. Maybe he has one of those in his bag of tricks that maybe he would like to share with us so we can bring them on. And because the first question I'm going to ask him is, how did you convince the CEO of Mokulele to embarrass himself with that particular statement? I would like to know that. I mean, that takes some real talent. Real talent.
Well, it sounded like I was listening to Dr. Avi Manis. That's what it's almost the same tune, same tune. But this was the kicker. He basically came out and saying that they want to stay in Hawaii. That they basically are, they have, their company, part of their company is on the mainland. I forget where he said. I can't remember. East Coast, I think. And then he said it's not fair because they're losing money in Hawaii. He said it's not fair that their businesses on the mainland, their colleagues on their employees on the mainland are all making a profit, and it's not fair for those employees and those airlines to have to pay for Hawaii's deficits. I couldn't believe he said that. That just, everybody goes through that. Everybody, my Lord, every business goes through that, right? But the way he said it was so matter of fact, like, hey, yeah, it's not fair for our employees up on the mainland that are working hard and making a profit to see their profit come to Hawaii to help offset our losses. Oh, wow. So basically he said, that we are going to, at some point, we're gonna have to make a decision that we cannot operate here no more. And that competition is good. And basically a threat that if you guys don't give us what we want, we're gonna leave. And
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I don't know when Captain Bozo started business in Hawaii, but I'm pretty sure he went in front of a board seeking approval, right? And I'm pretty sure he said some things now that seems very likely he really didn't mean. He just said those things to get his foot into the door.
Well,
and that it was always something that if we're here to make a profit, we don't care who we step on, we don't care how we step on you, and if we can't, We will we will leave the Opala behind and we'll go someplace else. Hey brother, you feel that way? Go for it. You don't see me crying over that. Okay, go for it.
Well, I got a huge education today about how this whole thing works, and I'm gonna let Senator Kalani English talk about it tomorrow night in detail. But it was basically, this is what happens when you apply with the federal government to operate in an area such as Lanai and Molokai, Hana and Waimea. They're called emergency service areas, or yeah, I think it's emergency service areas, where they need the flight service to get people in and out. Kalaupapa was one of them. So you go to the federal government, you apply, you can apply for with or without subsidies. Because there were enough flights and there were enough competition in the state of Hawaii, they did not need a subsidy to operate. They could, with the competition, keep the flights prices down. But when you get that approval, and Hawaiian Air found out, remember when Hawaiian said they canceled their flights? Well, they found out real quick that when you get approval, it comes with a condition, and I just learned this today, that you will operate in those emergency service areas until you get permission to stop. If for some reason you got to terminate that flight, if you for some reason, like what Hawaiian tried to do, the law, federal law says you got to give the federal government 90 days notice. Remember, Hawaiian said we're going to effectively, whatever, next week we're going to stop the flights, and then a few days later came back and said, oh, we're going to come back because the federal government told us we got to operate for 90 days. In that 90 days, now the United States Department of Transportation will put out RFPs to find other airlines that are willing to come in and fill those routes. They're going to do it with no subsidies. And then if they're not successful, then the federal government offers subsidies to these airlines to be able to operate in these emergency service areas with a federal subsidy so they can keep their fares low. Bottom line is you cannot just pack up and leave. But he forgot to tell the committee that. It was it was the Department of Transportation Airports guy, and I apologize. I should have wrote his name down. He came up and explained the law very clearly and said that bottom line, you cannot leave for 90 days. And the federal government won't let you leave until they find a replacement that protects areas like Hana, Lanai, Kalaupapa, and Waimea on the Big Island. And brilliant. And I didn't know that. And it was a huge education for me. So bottom line is this: they ain't going nowhere until the federal government come in and gives other airlines an opportunity to come in. And then Senator Kalani English tells them, well, as far as getting rid of the proclamation, the governor's proclamation, as far lifting the quarantine, that ain't going to happen because of health and safety. So we need to be discussing other things. I thought it was classic. Senator English did a great job basically saying that ain't going to happen. I was hoping that the committee wasn't going to fall for that and say, we're going to urge the governor for Mokulele Airlines to please lift the restrictions, the requirements for quarantine and the test. He said the test is a burden on our passengers and that, for the livelihood of our business. If you watch it, it has absolutely nothing to do with health of his employees or his customers, his passengers. It has everything to do about the viability of Mokulele here in Hawaii. I was shocked. But the more and more I heard him talk, the more and more I started to get not shocked because I could see he's a businessman and he's focusing on business and rather than the safety of the people. So I'm going to post that link tonight. I got to write my notes over here. I get my notes right here. I keep all my notes so I don't forget.
Brother, can you, we just got a message to bring somebody on to talk about the Safe Travel app. Did you get that message on your phone?
No.
Yeah, just check your phone. The Safe Travel app. She's willing to come on to discuss it. Did you get it?
Um, yeah, it's telling me about Sue.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
is Sue willing to come on?
Yep. Yep. Just read
Really?
more. Yeah, read more down. She talked to her and she said, yeah, she would like to come on to discuss the travel app. I
She
think
says
that,
she would like to show your audience how the app works. Hang on.
yeah.
I'll be shocked because I've asked Sue numerous times. She's probably watching. She has my number.
Hmm. So, but folks, long story short, the new norm as we know it is we have to take into consideration, if you're thinking about starting a business anywhere, you have to take into consideration your profit, your losses, the local regulations, the state and federal regulations. And you also have to put into the variables that you're going to work with to design your business performance. What if you get hit with a pandemic? That's going to be the new norm because that's going to determine how long you can stay afloat. Now, a lot of these companies, I think, they never thought in their wildest dream would have a pandemic. So then they just said, wait, man, we're just going full throttle forward. We make whatever we can. We take whatever we can now. But with everything that's good, there also comes bad too. And you have to play both sides. You have to adjust for both sides. And right now, it's difficult for many people. I mean, look at our favorite place in Waikiki. Tony Romo's just shut down after 40 years. That's sad. There's a lot of on Oahu, not so much on the outer islands, but on Oahu, a lot of our favorite growing up in the Kalihi, School Street area, a lot of the Okazuyas closing down. They just, you know, uh, it's not like before. And those kind of places, they don't depend on tourists. They depend on local residents. But because everybody is facing the pinch, we just don't have that much to go around to buy. We try our best. We try our best to keep local businesses afloat. But there's only so much we can do. But at least we try. That's the main thing. When you got somebody from the outside, and I'm saying this not facetiously, but they're from the outside, bringing in their lines and make that kind of comments uh, on at a committee meeting today. I mean, if you're pleading for some breaks, I think the way you went about it is the wrong way. You know, if you're pleading for, man, I just need a break. It's like if you need a break on your rent. I'm pretty sure you plead your case, and most landlords will listen. But you can't be going there and basically threatening the landlord. What do you expect the landlord to do? So when this guy does what he did, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, he I mean, I understand what he's doing. He's doing his job, and but again, I mean, I think if you talk about having concern for the safety of your employees and your passengers, then I mean, why? I mean, that's kind of crazy to think. Now, remember, he's talking about Lanai and Molokai. That's the two islands that they're talking about. My gosh, 94 cases on Lanai right now, and you're talking about lifting the quarantine. That thing was today. That hearing was today, and maybe the timing a little off. Maybe the timing is a little off, and um, to go in there and say that we're no one else in the country is as restrictive as we are as far as travelers, right? Well, maybe that's not a bad thing. All over the country is on fire right now with COVID. And remember too, on the mainland, people can drive, we cannot. So if you want to get to those islands, you gotta fly. So wouldn't you think that you would want to make it as safe as possible for your employees? Let's say you are greedy, but you still want to care for your employees, because if your employees all get sick and they got to go quarantine 14 days, your flight ain't going, your plane ain't flying. So it's just this, and it's not just him. It's many people have this attitude of let's uh, very short-term success that will lead to long-term failure, right? I mean, we'll have another. I mean, all the experts are saying we're gonna have another lockdown in another month or so. Um, oh, Sue is coming on. Oh, goodness.
Be nice, because we love
I'm
her.
happy. I'm
I
happy,
happy
man.
too.
You know, I tell you, and before we bring her on, I don't know if she's watching or not, but I'm going to say this is that she takes a lot of unfair criticism.
Hmm.
The only reason I haven't criticized Sue is because I know what she's been doing for the last 7 months. You know, I'm in a position because we work so closely with the EOC at my office, and I know firsthand what she's doing, and I know she's taking a lot of unfair criticism and abuse. But listen, whenever we had issues, Charlie, you know this for a fact that when we had a concern, we called Sue. We called Sue.
Hmm.
Our voice was heard at the state level because of Sue. And I know this has been verified by our Kauai team to me personally. So I just want to make sure people understand that. Um,
She's really in a tough mind. What people don't understand too, she fought like many of us because she always felt that things has to be pono and has to be put all in its right place. You cannot just open the spigot and expect the water to flow in a proper direction. It's going to go all over the place. And she made her voice heard about that, and I applaud her because she was right. Anything that you do it knowing that you try to minimize any kind of anything bad that could happen, and you do it right. You think about the safety. Like again, the visitors come. We just want to make sure they're safe. That's why we put out all these notices. If you're not a good swimmer, do not go close to. We have some of the beaches are dangerous. We don't put it there just as an advertisement to take up billboard space. We put it there because we care about you. You came this far. You didn't come this far to drown. We want to make sure that you can swim. But we're also saying that if you're not a strong swimmer, even strong swimmers have a hard time in certain beaches. And they post it out there. Be careful. Okay. Unlike Honolulu, not all of our beaches have lifeguards here on the island of Kauai. And I'm pretty sure Maui and Big Island is the same way. Not all the beaches have lifeguards. Okay. As well as some of the hotels and their swimming pools. They said, hey, no lifeguard on duty. They make it perfectly known. They put that liability statement up there that there's no lifeguards on duty. So I think, when you get someone like Sue who really takes the time to look at many different facets about our tourism industry, she looks at the pros and cons because she believes in safety first in whatever anybody does. And I applaud her for that. I applaud her for that.
oh, she's a Kauai resident. She
Yep.
don't see her island go to hell. Um,
Yep.
and oftentimes she's fighting against the grain. And as our mayor, same thing, going against the grain.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, a lot of the things that Sue does and her office does. I mean, their office is busy making phone calls all day long. Check it. I mean, it's just and that stuff goes unrecognized. So maybe I'm shocked. I am so shocked. Um, it's like I'm actually flabbergasted that she would even come on tonight.
There she is.
And from the damn beach. She no more shame. She went to the beach.
Better background. Otherwise, you have a white wall.
Sue Kanoho, Sue Kanoho, I cannot believe that you are actually on the Mel and Charlie show. After 7 or 6 months of begging and being politely told no.
I was ordered to not do interviews and all that good stuff, but because this is a really important issue right now, the safe travels. I really wanted to come on with Alan Clinton from EOC. Kima, he's smarter than me, but I do think there's a good message I can get out via you guys.
Let me ask you something, Sue. there was a big debate today, and some people brought up a good point. When you use the term app, yeah, it's not an app. It's a form that you get on a single website to download, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's not an app. It's not an app. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people are going to the app store and they say we can't find it, or they found something from Hawaiian Airlines that they didn't even apply. So
so we were actually told to say it's the Safe Travels program. That's what we've been said. But the problem is because it's on your phone and it comes in a QR code, everybody's defaulting to app. But you're right, Charlie, 100%. It's a website and it's from the state, not from us.
Mm-hmm.
So we are doing our best to address the program. So one, and part of why Marianne, I think, kind of hinted at me coming on tonight was I sent out a message yesterday, a fairly stern message last night to the TVR operators that they are supposed to be checking everybody's QR code. And that's really for operations right now. That's the standard operating procedure for hotels, condos, and for now TVRs who are now allowed to operate. And the reason you do that is because, unfortunately, as you guys know, there's only a list of so many trusted partners that you can test from. And there's certain tests that you can take, the PCR test primarily. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people who are taking the wrong test, the wrong lab, and they're being stuck in quarantine. And why you will see on their QR code, not cleared. It says, that they're not released. And everybody, to me, who is now marketing to anybody, should have on their website, and everybody should be sharing this message that, please, you have to use the links from the COVID Hawaii website so that you're using the right, you can't Google and say, what's my closest Walgreens? Not all Walgreens are participating. So it's really become a bit of a debacle. And unfortunately, we are now back to doing phones. So we did all that. I don't know if we never had time to talk, but we were handling through HVCB and the island chapters. We were handling all the quarantine calls for the first 6 months from March 28th on till September 1st. And now we've been brought back in to handle the calls. And I will tell you, these calls are way harder than the quarantine calls because people are just upset, rightly so. Some of them did the right thing. Some of them, their tests got lost. Some of them, their tests were damaged and they are stuck in limbo. And I just wanted to really reiterate to everybody who's operating a hotel, a condo, a TVR, it is your job as the host to check every single person, not the one person who made the reservation, every single person, to make sure they are clear and out of quarantine, because a lot of people are not. And you could have where a husband is clear and the wife is not. And the person who's not, I'm sorry, is supposed to be in quarantine until you get cleared. And sad.
Real quick. As far as the TVRs, the TVRs are allowed only for people not subject to the quarantine, correct?
Correct.
So in that scenario, husband cleared, wife not cleared, wifey got to go stay in a hotel.
That's right.
Okay. And before I hate to interrupt you, but we gotta, because this, man, we forgot to do this tonight. So please share this because this is some powerful information. And again, Sue, who are you?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm Sue Kanoho, Executive Director of the Kauai Visitors Bureau.
No, my bad. Wait, I was just in awe.
I may be fired after this, Mel. So this could be my appearance.
That was gonna be my next thing. I hope you understand that this show is viewed after it's live that's when all the people from Honolulu, the White Building, the Square Building, all come watch. They get like.
That's okay. I'll take the hit for Kauai if they gotta fire me over this one.
Sue, let me ask you a question. So, because there've been reported cases of problems with uploading the information onto their phones. I know some when it first started, we're getting messages like, "Hey, Tutu coming back from California, but she doesn't have a smartphone. What do you do? Flip phone doesn't take the information." We talked to Ron last night, and he said it was funny he showed the QR code, but they didn't want to see the QR code. They wanted to see his hard copy at the airport.
It should be, yeah, it should be the QR code. I mean, so for those that don't have a smartphone, and there are surprisingly more than expected, they have iPads at the airport, and they will create a form for you. They will create an account for you. So yeah, to back up for a minute is that everybody coming into the state of Hawaii, resident, visitor, has to fill out the Safe Travels program, not negotiable. They have to do it. And if you don't, actually, if you refuse it, you can't enter the state. They will send you back.
So how many levels on the Safe Travel app are there that you know, like if you're going to I know before flying in, you're on the plane, they give you the agricultural form. We knew exactly how many spots we had to fill. So with the Safe Travel app, how many spots are there to fill?
This is why I was going to schedule it with Mel. So when you ask that question, I can have a picture. I don't think it's very many, Charlie, because I did it myself. I think it takes like 5 minutes, you know, but you do have to have a Gmail account. You have to have an email account. And here's the thing, they do verify. They'll send you a verification code to either your phone or your email. And you have to give them that verification code so that we make sure that it's a legit phone, not just a phone that is not legit.
One last question. And this is to be having the law enforcement mind kicking in. You know, someone asked, wouldn't it have been great if when the app was developed, that if you have to go to a trusted partner and you're going to a specific site, that you scan something. So now when the information is ready to upload, it can only talk to your phone and nothing else.
Well, I gave a suggestion similar to that, which was click here for the proper wording of the kind of test you want to take. And the reason that is because some of the lab technicians are talking people into a different test that comes back faster, which is the wrong test. But the poor people, you know, they don't know. I mean, you could see somebody go, oh, I can get the test faster. And they're like, yeah. And they only have that 72-hour window. So they take the test only to find out it's the wrong test. So I was hoping that we could get on that Safe Travels program somewhere, click here, download or screenshot this wording of what kind of test that the state of Hawaii will accept. So we, as you know, have a lot of disgruntled people. I mean, and then the problem so here's the other zinger. It has to be a PDF. It cannot be a JPEG. It has to be a PDF of the report. And that's what's hanging up a lot of people too. They're screenshotting it with their phone, which becomes a JPEG. And all of a sudden that won't be read. So the artificial intelligence won't read it. And that's why we have all these people that are in what they call manual verification required. And manual verification required, guys, can take days. And then to get on the phone can take hours to get through. So that's why I really feel it's important that everybody has on their website, as much as possible, information and pointing to the Hawaii COVID-19. I think we have to go look it up, make sure I give you the right.
Well, let me say this
Hawaii,
much.
Hawaii COVID-19.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let me say this much, and you know, I'm not that computer tech savvy, but I know that if you want to download a PDF file on your phone, you got to make sure that you get some kind of PDF reader on the phone. I know. If your phone comes generic right out of the store and you don't have anything on, you can be trying all day. It's not going to upload it. I don't care.
I know. Yeah. I know. And so they are doing their best to modify as we keep providing information about what's working, what's not working. The good news is, I think you guys saw how it looks, you know, when you, I even had Alan Clinton over at Kima do a little video and I sent it out to people and said, you know, here's how it's supposed to look. But they've added now on here, I have a background so it doesn't work so good, but added now where you can put your name, that you don't have to scroll up to see your name. So now you have the ability to see their name and you have to look and say, were you screened? Yes. Are you in quarantine? No. Exempt. and then exemption says COVID negative. That's what you need to have. If there's anything that shows manual registration required, you are in quarantine until that changes to that look. And I don't think everybody understands that or realizes. I think the properties do, the large properties, because, you know, they've been briefed. Even for the TVRs, I sent a message out really imploring them to make sure assumptions will not do us well in COVID. You cannot assume people got out of the airport that they are cleared. They're not. There's people who and somebody said to me the other day, they go, oh, we thought you take a shuttle and you guys shuttle them to the COVID quarantine hotel. I go, there's no such thing. You know, there's no shuttle and there's no quarantine hotel that we're putting people in. You know, we'll give a list of places that are quarantining, allowing people to quarantine. Some properties are, some properties aren't. So yeah, so it's really become very important that everybody does their best to do their homework, to ask questions, to go to that website Mel said, which was, Mel?
Hawaii COVID-19.
19.com. Yeah.
Hawaii spelled out.
Yeah, Hawaii spelled out, not HI. So that is the most up-to-date information. And, you know, just a reminder, TVRs were not allowed for quarantine per the governor's order. Governor in his 14th proclamation is still holding hosts responsible for they're responsible for their guests. They're responsible to screen them. They're responsible should they get sick. Should somebody get sick, unless they need medical attention, they need to stay there until they're well enough to leave and get cleared. So
question. And I'm sorry, I'm going to try to zing as much as I can.
Go ahead.
But now, since we're open up to the Japanese travel, many of them have phones that don't translate back to English. Will this app work with Japanese?
It's my understanding, I think there's going to be, and don't quote me on this, I shouldn't probably even say this.
Okay.
You gotta know.
There's another, they may be using a different program for international.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, maybe, possibly.
So for those that are not cleared, they're in limbo or they're waiting for a test, are we still generating a quarantine list? Are we still sending police and National Guard out to verify? In other words, someone comes to the airport, and I'm going back to that husband-wife TVR, and I know somebody asked about the TVR. TVRs are legal for people that are not subject to quarantine.
Correct.
So just using that example of the husband and a wife from the airport, we know now that she basically cannot go, or one of them cannot go. The one that's not cleared cannot go to the TVR. So do we have, is she able to leave? Or I shouldn't say she. Is the uncleared party allowed to leave the airport without verifying a quarantine location?
Yes, so we, as you know, when we were doing a really tight job in the hundreds and not the thousands, we're really on that. So right now, what if they are in manual registration, they're provided a list. So technically they really shouldn't be getting out of the airport without knowledge that there's a problem, right? And so that's where National Guard and KPD have a list, and they say, here are the places you can stay at till you get cleared. So some people have been checking into hotels and motels and waiting to get cleared, and then trying to go to their other location that they had.
But are we, like, prior to this, to October 15, we as a county would confirm, in other words, if they said, okay, I'm going to stay at the KBR, that we would contact KBR and say, hey, do we have, you have a reservation? Are they still doing that part?
No, we were the ones calling. When we were doing the phone calls, we were calling ahead and saying, you have these people. So when we were doing all that quarantine management, we would call ahead and say, these people are coming, make sure they're in quarantine. That is not happening now, because we're off the phone call thing. It's supposed to be now the Safe Travels program, 100%, period.
So someone's checking though at the airport, right? I know that because I see it come across, and you've seen the newspaper articles where the 14 people got arrested.
Right.
These people are coming in and they have no place to go. They
Correct.
have no, and
KPD.
obviously they're not cleared.
Correct.
So those obviously someone's checking to see if they have a place to stay.
Yeah, at the airport they will do that. So through Roberts, KPD, National Guard, right? So Roberts has been doing Transpac direct flights, and then KPD, and of course Kauai guys have been at the airport as well, and checking on TVR addresses. I mean, believe it or not, some people give a plot of land address, or they've been on to protect them for that. So there is monitoring going on. It's just that advanced phone call, Mel, is not happening anymore.
So if someone comes in and says, my QR code or whatever, I'm manual, I'm waiting for my result, I'm staying at the Kauai Beach Resort, they just let them go.
They do.
And they don't show up on a list.
The KPD has a list, right? Okay. So if they go past KPD's desk, KPD has the master list, so to speak. And that's how we're able to check and catch.
The only problem is if they were not truthful and they're not staying at the KBR, they're not staying at a specific address that they put on their little program or their form.
Yeah.
Then when KPD shows up, now we have no record of that person here, then you're just not going to be able to find them.
Correct. Or I've kind of hinted to the hotels that if you have somebody who checks in for one night and checks out the next night, that's a red flag. I mean, it could be legit, but on the whole, it sounds a little not right.
I wanted to make for our viewers out there, because I'm watching the comments, a lot of confusion going on.
Are they killing me?
No. Sue is referring to the operations on Kauai. So that's why I know you're getting confused, because many of our viewers is from Honolulu. They're not
right.
from So
right.
What we're doing is we're talking about just the basic operation that needs to take place. Yes, this is not an app. This is a form from a single website. But if you want to refer it as abbreviated application, you can use the word app, because you're actually filling out an application. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. Registration. Right.
So for you folks out there that are getting confused, basically, if you're deciding to travel from mainland coming to Hawaii, we're telling you what needs to be done and what has to be in place, and why you cannot be using any type of test that's outside of the trusted partners.
Correct.
Because it's not going to be accepted. And that's going to be the biggest holdup. And you might pay all that money to come here, and you're still going to have to quarantine.
Yeah.
And
we've had people come in and leave. They're like, what? They didn't know, and they literally leave either the same day or the next day. So that's why it's not beneficial to anybody right now to not be as forthcoming as possible on your websites, as your brief, as your 2 weeks out confirmation of your reservation, as much as possible. I think every single person that hosts a visitor should make sure that you have information on your website, that you're sending information in your confirmation to say, please be aware, this is very detailed information that you need to follow, and it will help you get through the process faster, easier. It's where all these other things start to go south that people get hung up. So yeah, that's why honestly, Mel, I wanted to come on tonight just unexpectedly, because we have a lot of angry people. I mean, and I'm sure the businesses aren't happy either. If they had a reservation for 4 people who all of a sudden go, forget it, I'm out of here, and they take off, you just lost the revenue for that. So it really is going to take all of us working together, all of us educating our guests to know, and quite frankly, even inter-island now, you have to do the Safe Travels program. Yeah.
So let me ask you one last thing, and then the rest of the night, I'll for the next 30 minutes, I'll just keep my mouth shut.
Don't do that.
But let me, and I know you don't know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Okay. When this program was developed, was HTA, Visitors Bureau, everybody brought into the room to develop this program? Because it seems like there are so many missing parts to it, and that it involves the industry. And I think the industry would have a lot of good ideas put into it so it could run better, because for the visitors bureau, what's the first thing back in the old days? A lay greeter, right?
Right.
So you have that person greeting the person come in. Now everything is just like, hey, you're expected to do this, you're expected to do that. And I know there's a lot of people that just don't know that they want to comply, but there's so many moving parts, they just don't know where to start. I mean, we had Sean Pimentel on the other night, and he talked about all the steps that he had to go through just so he could come back to Hawaii and driving 200 miles north to go get a test. You know, it wasn't part of to me, it wasn't part of the deal. And I think we're sort of shirking it on them, and we're kind of like shocking them one time. And even at that, we try to shock them into place, but it's still not working. Did anybody, brilliant minds come together and said, hey, we're going to develop this form that should be user-friendly? And with that look, I can say I just spoke for 2 minutes, and I know I won't get an answer, but it's okay. I just wanted to get off my chest.
So we're sharing where we feel you can improve each day as best as possible for the betterment of visitor industry and tourism.
Yeah.
So we provide that feedback. Yeah. So and I back to your testing issue, it is a challenge right now, and I don't think they're going to onboard any new people yet, any companies yet, because we really need to get through what we have now. And so, yeah, that's become a problem. It's people are having to drive long distances to find a test. And you know, the other problem, we just had this poor soul. I just had a case where they took the test. The wife took the test at one time. The husband took the test at another time, and the flight had a delay. And so one test was when they were going to leave was good, and the other test timed out. So, I mean, there's like every day we're getting some story about, you know, like, oh gosh, you should have taken the test at the same time, or make sure you have a little bit of a window for delays. And so there's just a lot of moving parts to, you know, hitting each target to get here. And so it's really important that everybody understands as best as they can, you know, that the timing's important, the test is important, the lab that you click on the link from the HawaiiCovid19.com website so that you have the right one. Because we've had people go, oh, I see this lab name. There's one over here. I'm just going to go there without clicking on the link to know that that's the one that has been authorized by the state of Hawaii, as opposed to the other 5 that haven't. So it's a little bit heartbreaking right now to tell people, so sorry, wrong test or wrong lab.
I'd be more than happy to do that. So if you guys have your heart breaks, or anybody's hearts break, to tell some knucklehead that decided to go against the rules, I have no problem telling them, get your ass back on a plane and go home, or you go to a place for 14 days. I have absolutely no problem telling them that.
Yeah.
And I know that's just why, you know, my wife cringes every time I open my lips. But, you know, I wanted to go back to the trusted partners that are advising or suggesting that these people take another test. I mean, that's not a very trusted partner if they're doing that. And I think, you know, the state needs to get back to them and say, hey, you know, one more strike and you're out, and you're no longer a trusted partner. And I think the frustration is that, you know, we've heard so much, what I want to say, we've been patting, and I know this is not about KVB or any, it's about our administration, patting ourselves on the back about how good a job we did about securing these partners, and it's not working. And it's the messaging. Charlie keeps talking about messaging, and
messaging is important.
Has not worked. I mean, we have been talking about this every night, give or take, for 7 months, and people are still confused as to what needs to be done. Yeah. First of all, if you want to come, except for Honolulu quarantine in Island.
Right.
You can fly from anywhere in Hawaii to Honolulu, none to take tests. Well,
Transpac, they still need to take a test.
Right. But if you're on a mainland, you want to come to any place in Hawaii, now you got to do the app, program.
The program.
You don't have to take a test. The test is not required. If you don't take a test, you get 14 days of quarantine, but you still got to do the program. You still got to do the Safe Travels program. Okay, so make sure you understand that. It's not an option. The test is an option.
Correct.
And that's the I mean, and then there's also a lot of questions or comments about TVRs. Listen, the best thing to do, rather than me try to explain the TVR rule, if you have a TVR next door and there's a ton of people in there and you suspect that they shouldn't be there, just message me. I'll get with Sue and with KPD and Kima, and we'll investigate to find out who's supposed to be in that house, who not, and then we'll send the troops out. Okay, that's the easiest way. Just send it to me.
How can they do it on the other islands? Because TVRs on every island is not.
Yeah, I don't want to, Charlie, I'm not up to speed with the other islands. I know, you've had Angela Keene on, who does an amazing job of investigating stuff. So, yeah, I don't want to speak for the other islands. I can speak a little bit.
Kauai is the only island that has established that extra layer of county protection at the airport. The county, our mayor, our administration, again, and Sue, I mentioned this before you came on it. You do a lot of things. You have been doing a lot of things for 7 months that no one has talked about. But you have.
I've done more work for KPD than I have for KV.
I know, and I said this. I can verify that because I see it with my own eyes. And I've called you. I called you on weekends. I called you at night. When I get the info, who do you call? Call Sue, and she responds every single day. Except when I asked her to come on the show, she just politely said no. But we are the only island that has that. So like Charlie said, some of you guys are wondering, what the hell? No, I went right through Honolulu. Yeah, Honolulu, you go right through. You go to your car and you're out. Kauai, there's an extra layer. So for those of you in the outer islands, this may not apply to you. And unless that has changed recently, then there's the Safe Travels app or program obviously is a requirement on every island, but the screening is different. Kauai is separate. We do it differently. Our mayor has decided to use CARES funds money to provide that extra layer, and it's working. That's why you see so many.
They've been amazing, right? Yeah, KPD.
The other thing too, Sue, and I want to make sure people understand what you do is when we have people that come in that homeless. Sue is very instrumental with connecting with other agencies to get these people back to where they came from. Nip it in the bud. And that's what I appreciate so much for you. And we just did one not long ago, Sue.
Yeah, we just did another one the other day.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I just want people to understand that I can promise
I'm also
Sue is not out there promoting people to come to Kauai and bring your virus. That's she's absolutely not doing that. She's actually doing complete opposite.
There's been no promotions. There's been no promotions whatsoever. And so that, and I will tell you, sadly, our budget's been cut severely, right? And we've had to eliminate positions. And so we're not out of the woods yet at all. Next year is going to be really, really hard. So, but that said, we need to get through this year, right, to make sure we can hopefully not have any more challenges and move those tiers the wrong way. So that's why I really implore everybody. That's why, Mel, that's what got me on tonight, is to say, please, 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 every person that checks a person in at the hotel, yes, they were screened at the airport. They may not have been cleared. Yes, some people at the rental cars get screened, but somebody in the other party may not be cleared. It is your responsibility to the island of Kauai, to the people of Kauai, to our community, to make sure that you guys are doing the right thing, all of you, to know who is and who is not in quarantine, and do the right thing afterwards. Because if we make the mistake and then one person gets out and that person is a super spreader, this is all for naught. All our hard work goes right down the drain. So it's really important that we all get on the same page as much as possible and do what we should, which is to make sure they are. And the poor souls, a lot of the people, I know you're gonna yell at them, Mel, but these guys don't even know, when they look at their phone, they're not even sure what that means, right? But that's our job. Our job as the host, whoever the host is, whether it's a hotel, a condo, a TVR, it is your job to ensure that that person is, yes, you are cleared. Yes, you're good to go. Thank you. Enjoy your visit on Kauai. And, oh, I'm so sorry, you have manual registration required. You're now in quarantine. You won't be able to go to this TVR. You'll have to go to over here. And when you get cleared, you can come back to the TVR. But Without that information, and if people are allowed to just get out and do their own thing, that's going to be a problem for the island. So it's really important that we all work together as best as possible to educate the people before they get here, and make sure that they have the right information. So hopefully it'll be a win-win situation all the way around.
So let me ask you, the QR code, is there a reader at the airport that reads the code?
Yes, there is.
And so if somebody uploads the code, the process is when they go to the table, you show your phone, and I guess it's put up against a QR reader. I guess that's what you call it.
Yeah.
And then that QR reader is, the signal is sent to where?
Oh, what's that? No. Charlie was like,
no, we have lightning. We have lightning.
Like, what happened?
Yeah, we've got lightning in Waimea, and I don't have a roof. Last night it rained, so
you're teasing me, right?
Right, I'm teasing.
Okay,
that was my phone.
That's his blood pressure machine. Whenever the blood pressure gets to a certain height, it flashes like that to let him know, cool off.
Yeah. So Charlie, as best I know, and again, if I had Alan with me, he would know better than I do. That it's going to the Safe Travels. There's a master list.
Mm-hmm.
That is generated, and it says whether you're screened or not. So I think once you've been read, it shows you've been screened, and that's what. And we have gone back on a couple files. We've had a couple weird readings, and I'm like, hey, can you go check on this person to make sure this is legit, or they got a weird message, so we can go back. Well, not me, but there's an authorized person that can go back into the system and check. So, yeah.
Because I know there's some QR code that looks, you remember Kikaida?
Yeah.
That QR code looks like a travel QR code. You might get cleared as Kikaida. That's about it. Other than that.
They'll be lucky as long as it says no quarantine and negative COVID. So, yeah. So anyway, so sorry, Mel and Charlie, all these years of you guys saying, hey, it feels like years anyway. I kind of was on lockdown, and we were supposed to really lay low and just do our job for managing the quarantine. And now we're starting to get a little bit more back into educating. We're going to do, there's been some banners printed thanks to the county about wear a mask. That's the other message that we all need to share ahead of time, that, masks are mandatory on Kauai, and we really need to share that message with our visitors so they understand. And I would also warn them in advance of coming here so they are fully educated of what they're walking into. And I just remind everybody, we're in a pandemic. It's not business as usual right now. I'm sorry, but it's still, if you dot your I's and cross your T's, you can still have a nice time on Kauai, and hopefully our residents will greet you with their wonderful nature.
I want to applaud you right now, because you came on. Mel and I, for these last couple of months, when we wanted somebody so badly like yourself to come on, we were trying to piece information that we were able to get a hold of. And I know we weren't doing a good job, but we were able to at least cover the peripheral of that information. Yeah. Having somebody, I don't know why the Visitors Bureau would not allow somebody to come on and just give us the dirty, downright scoops of what's going on. That's the easiest thing to do, because what the state is having us, and why we're a little bit skeptical, is they're trying to tell us, hey, buy into the program. Okay, show me the program. But when you don't do that, it's hard to buy into the damn thing. Yeah. So I'm glad you're on tonight, and I give you credit. Thank you so much.
Could be my last appearance.
No, it's not, because I really, really would like to invite you and Alan to come on maybe next week.
Alan, he's the smart one over at the EOC. Oh. He is super, super knowledgeable. And
well, he may be knowledgeable, but the thing is, if he cannot talk like you, it'll make sense he come on. So best have you both on. Okay.
He's understandable. He gets it. But, I have to say, and I know, Mel, this, is that the amount of work that goes on at the EOC, almost sometimes 24/7, is amazing. And, Dr. Berryman, and of course, the team over there, I am so proud to even show up when I do, to try and give thoughts about the visitor industry or concerns or what's going on. And So I really feel like we have been so blessed, one by Derek and the mayor having his commitment to our island, and of course, the goddess, Sarah Blaine, chiefess of staff over there, does an amazing job too. And of course, Elton and everybody else. KPD has been so amazing. Poor Mark Begley gets phone calls like, 10 o'clock at night from me, 7 in the morning. Can you check this person? Is this person clear? And I have properties that will say, hey, I have a concern, or this person walked out, and they will take a picture and they'll send it to me. So I was a little mini Angela Keene for the last 6 months in a really, really small way. But we follow up on everything that we are told about. One thing I will tell you though, Mel, is I need a name. I've just had some people say, somebody next door, I think, I don't know, I'm not sure. And I'm like, I need a name. If I don't have a name, I cannot check. So that was one where I had a few people saying, I don't want anybody to know, but what do you think about this? And it's like, without a name, I just can't check.
Yeah, we go to that. I mean, and Justin, my boss, our prosecutor, has been very accommodating for me as well to go out and pursue some of these leads. But yeah, without a name, we cannot cross-reference it on the list. Obviously, you can't go in somebody's house and demand that they show you a test result. Obviously, I mean, this is still America. So, I mean, all of that has to be done on the front end, and we understand it's a huge task. That's always been our frustration, Sue, with this program, was that we weren't ready. And I don't even expect a response from you, Sue, but I'm just saying what we've been saying. We weren't ready to go Transpac. We were ready to possibly do an inter-island test run. Mm-hmm. That's what we had suggested to so many of our viewers, and I mean of our guests, but no, I mean the goal was to get Trans-Pacific open, and they accomplished that goal. They did it, and now we're trying to clean up the mess and trying to make things work, and we're finding all the glitches. That's fine, but we don't know we won't know until another couple of weeks,
right?
To see how successful we were as far as the health side of this thing.
Which is why I came on tonight, though. That's why I wanted to come on tonight, because it's right now we're at a critical point. So that's why I was talking to Marianne earlier, and I said, I think I'm going to try and get on with Mel and Charlie.
Well, my God, what do you mean? Listen, and I don't say this to make you feel bad. You are the only person that has refused our invitation to come on the show across the world.
And believe me, if I could,
you're special. You're special. So when Charlie sent me told me, and I'm looking at my thing, I said, no way, Sue ain't gonna come on. Sue ain't gonna come on. No way. I know Sue enough. But
now it's a check mark for me.
Oh my gosh, now it's complete. No one has, we got only one person now, Dr. Vong, who has told Charlie, I'll think about it. And if you don't know Dr. Vong from Texas, incredible. Watch his YouTube video. But anyway, he's the only one we're waiting for. Everyone else has said yes. Except you. Now you're in.
Well, you guys have done an amazing job, and I thank you. And special props to all the people of Kauai who are doing their best to protect our island. It's going to take us all doing the best we can. And as you know, then there's going to be a few here and there. We
can handle the very few.
We need to keep it that way.
But it's the clusters that we worry about, and we hope that we don't get to that point. We and I don't say this to brag, but we actually we're probably the only consistent broadcast out right now that brings on people like yourself on a nightly basis. Again, I'm not saying that to brag. We started this as kind of like we'll check it out, we'll do it, and then it's grown to this. So take advantage of us. It's an open invitation, Sue. You guys come across something, you want to get the word out, let us know so we can promote it. And once we promote it, then we'll get the viewership. So
if I'm still employed, I'll do that.
No, I'm serious. It's not bad, but you thought I was going to beat you up. I told Charlie, if we
ever see the comments after this, Mel.
No, the comments are very good.
All I'm seeing are hearts flying up.
Okay. That's all I'm seeing. Thank you, everybody. That's sweet.
I didn't check them all, but
I wanted to say one thing, Mel. My team has worked so hard, my KBB team, and let me tell you, we worked hard for the quarantine enforcement for 6 months. This has been triple harder of the calls that we're taking now than what we went through with the quarantine, and God bless them all. Still, best attitude possible and trying to help people. And I just appreciate my team. They have been truly amazing. And we all appreciate the fact we all still have a job, but I'll tell you, it's hard when, you know, a lot of upset people and getting angry. So thanks to my team, they've been truly amazing. Miley Brown, Lonnie Kauai, Christy Langwandino, Becky Sadamitsu. So thank you to all of them who've done just a great job of getting us through this. So.
Well, hopefully when this is all said and done, we'll have a huge mahalo party like we did after the hurricane at the stadium. Kauai Visitors Bureau and the mayor's office gonna pay for everything, so we can just go and eat and not have to pay a penny. I think I
told AC Bagley I want a badge. That's all I want.
You know, the other thing real quick, whatever influence you have is, you know, we had Angela Keene on the show a few times, and she's just, you know, she's
a firecracker.
Yeah, but you know, she's doing it for free. She's not getting any compensation. We're trying to get the state to allocate some of those funds to give her legitimize what she's doing by giving her funds for an office, for a salary, for a clerk, for a phone, for a computer, for a printer, because she's taken on a monumental task. She's working in very close relationship with the Attorney General's office, because up there the quarantine stuff, HPD doesn't investigate. They don't. It's the Attorney General's office and the quarantine breakers. So whatever influence you have up there, try get something her way so she can expand that thing. Because I worry on Kauai. I feel a lot more comfortable than I think the people on Oahu, because we have our law enforcement officers, and you know this, who without going too much detail of their operational plan, but I can honestly sit here tonight and tell each and every one of you on Kauai that they got it covered for the most part. They're not gonna catch them all, but what they have in place is working, and I cannot say the same for the other islands. So
and I think the National Guard too, Mel and Charlie,
absolutely, they
have been stellar, and I hate to lose them come the end of the year, but boy, they have just been so I'm so grateful to them too, and always trying to improve things too, what they see. Okay, how about we make it this way to make it better? So I'm just so proud of this island, and so proud of our mayor and his team, and everybody that's just given 150% for this situation. So anyway, and thanks to you guys. I watch the show a lot.
Right.
Both of you.
Charlie, any
Mel, tell him this. I would say, Mel, tell him this.
Yeah. See, I get my cue from Sue a lot of times.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, you guys.
Charlie, hang on, you cannot go yet to get Charlie's closing comments. This is like, you know, Mr. Rogers, where he would change his sweater and put on his shoes.
Yes.
Welcome to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Charlie?
Well, as always, I'd like to extend my greatest fond aloha and gratitude towards you, Sue. Thank you for coming on the last minute. I really appreciate it, because it was very noteworthy and informational for the people out there. For our viewers out there, this great person is our head of our Kauai Visitors Bureau. This is Sue Kanoho, for those that just joined in. There was a little confusion in the beginning because every island is different. But the basic operational side of it, every island operates pretty much the same. There's just small tidbits here and there that makes it a little different. So she was able to explain about the Safe Travels app, as it's called, but it's actually a form to be filled, and it's on a single program, and it's on a single site. So if you're coming into Hawaii, or if you're traveling from Oahu to any of the outer islands, or any of the outer islands to each other except Oahu, you need to fill up that travel app, okay? There were some
travel, just real quick, travel.hawaii.gov, travel.hawaii.gov.
There you go. And there were some questions about what happens to these small airports, okay? I can tell you firsthand, Princeville Airport, Salt Pond, okay? The small airports. I've seen the National Guard there. I've seen KPD police vehicles there, because sometimes I'll get a call and I said, shoot me a picture. They say a plane's coming in, but there's the blue lights right in the corner by one of the buildings standing by, or there's this big high top Humvee, which is the National Guard. They're there. So not to worry. Now, I can't say the same for Maui, Lanai, Molokai, or the Big Island. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But we appreciate all the viewers who are tuning in every night from wherever you're at. Texas, our good friend, Mr. Nita. Thank you again for always joining us every night. We try to bring you the information, and like I've always said before, we're here to inform and educate. So we bring it out. If you use it, fine. If you can't, brush it to the side and wait for the next one to come about, because we guarantee we're going to get information to you. Mel, take it away.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much for finally. You know, every time I get my rejection from you, I always tell Patsy, God, man, I don't know, you know, what the heck. So when you came on tonight, she's in a bedroom watching, and she texts me and she says, wow, I'm surprised that she's on. Yeah, me too. And then she just texted me, I'm going to make some cookies for her.
Oh, thank you. Well, you both have the most wonderful wives in the whole wide world.
Of course.
Mel and I and Patsy go way back because our kids were babysat together for 30 some years ago, if you can believe that, Baron, and had all that, Justin, and back in the day. Did you remember that?
We appreciate, absolutely. We appreciate you, Sue, a lot. We appreciate all that you do for our island, for our state. And again, thank you so much for coming on. We were supposed to have Ricky, Councilmember Ricky Hokama on tonight.
Yeah, and, sorry, Ricky.
Yeah, you know, we're going to try and get him on Friday. Tomorrow night, we have Senator Kalani English and Representative Lynn DeCoit will be on to update us on Lanai. That'll be an interesting show tomorrow night. Friday, I'll try to get Ricky back on, but Saturday night, people, I don't know if you saw this, Sue, but our Mel and Charlie's first annual Halloween costume contest. Okay, so Saturday night, 7 o'clock, just log into your Facebook. We will have the Zoom link on there and get you. It was for kids, family friendly. Remember that. Some of you, I know some. Rhonda, family friendly.
Wait a minute now. It's the judging is going to be the tough part, because who do we have? Judges
are my wife Patsy, Charlie's wife Stephanie, and we have put together, working on some amazing prizes for this contest. So Sue, if Kauai Visitors Bureau get any kind of stuff they like give, you know, I know you guys get whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, we can do that.
Whatever, but we got some great gift certificates that we got already from our local merchants that heard and called Patsy today and said, hey, I'll give this, I'll give that. If you know of anyone that wants to donate some prizes for the winners, we'll take them all.
I'll even come to your house and wash your dishes.
Well, I ain't doing that, but
a golf towel and a few other things I'll throw together for you guys.
Yeah. We just, you know what, it's for fun. We know a lot of parents are very afraid to let their kids go out. So this is an opportunity for them to come up here, get on our show, and they will be judged based on whatever these two wahinis decide they want to judge on.
It's a great idea. That's the way to do Halloween in a pandemic.
Yeah, again, somebody, one of our viewers last night, put that in the comments. Hey, you guys should do a Halloween costume contest. Bingo. You asked for it, you got it. It's going to be fun. First annual. Don't know if there'll ever be a second annual, but we definitely going to have a first annual on Saturday. So anyway, with that.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
No, thank you.
You're the best.
Yeah, you're right. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back here. And we love you guys. Stay safe. God bless.
Aloha.